It's gonna be a moment in your life where you actually do move on from your trauma. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Tiger Headens, and yes, that is what we're gonna be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, it's not for you. Do not force it. Let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss when it's time to move forward, how to move forward, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and what you should be aware of. The reason why I'm making this video before I get into the disclaimers is because I've recently had come to the conclusion in a certain level of awareness that it was time for me to move forward. And what I had to move forward from was 8 years ago today. Today is November 7th. 2017, my life changed completely, drastically, and I was traumatized. And if you're wondering why and what happened to me, I lost my parent. I lost my father, and my dad had a significant role in my life, a significant influence of the young lady that I'm becoming to date. Now, of course, when things happen to us and it's traumatic, a lot of times we feel confused. We have a lot of doubt. We have a lot of fear. We have a lot of insecurities. And what I've realized was that in that moment, instead of allowing the doubt and the fear and the insecurities to paralyze me and to keep me stuck and stagnant, I've learned that when it's time to change, instead of being afraid, we have to lean forward and we have to overcome those circumstances. We don't experience trauma and losses and grief for no reason. Of course, when you're going through it, you may not have that level of understanding. You may not have that level of discernment. But as you grow older, as you mature, as you overcome that situation, you become wiser. You become more aware of yourself and what it is that you were supposed to learn. And that's how we're going to start off with the disclaimers. Like, when you are dealing with trauma, it is completely okay to be in shock. It is completely okay to not have a sense of knowing, especially if you've lived a certain type of way, if you've been conditioned to think a certain type of way, or you're used to doing things. Rather it's a loss of a parent, rather it's you losing your job, so your finances, rather it's you losing, stability emotionally, rather it's you losing someone close to you, rather it's you, going through any type of suffering that causes you to change and grow. It is okay to completely feel uncomfortable in the beginning. And I'm emphasizing in the beginning because it is going to come upon your life where you're going to have to move forward. Because if not, you will stay stuck in the emotions, in the feelings of these traumatic situations. And you have to realize that when we go through significant amount of trauma, there are valuable lessons that we're supposed to be learning. Like, a lot of times people do not understand that the purpose of life is to live. And when you live your life, you're going to go through things. And it's really just important for you to learn what it is that you're going through and why you had to experience it. So the first disclaimer is to validate what it is that you felt when you were traumatized, or when you were grieving, or when you were suffering. The second disclaimer is allowing yourself to be vulnerable. So many people think it's a weakness to be sad or to cry or to be honest or to express how you feel, because maybe you weren't taught and shown how to be confident. Maybe you weren't taught and shown how to be vulnerable. Maybe you didn't have people to reassure you and to secure you that your feelings are valid. When my dad passed away, you guys, immediately, I was numb. When I first found out the news, I'm not gonna get too in detail to yet. I'll probably make that into a separate video. But initially I was so numb because I had went through other things up until this moment. It wasn't until I was at the hospital and I seen that he was no longer, alive, that it hit me. And I literally cried. I have cried. That is the only time in my life I've cried so hard. And afterwards, now 8 years later, I realized I cry. When I cry now, it's different than when I used to cry. Other than probably when I was a little baby, but I cried. And growing up, a lot of people who were not vulnerable, who were not able to express their feelings, used to be oh my gosh, why is this girl crying? Like, why is she so sad? And it's just like, I've never been afraid to be vulnerable because you're a human, like you have emotions. So it's just like me allowing myself to cry instead of trying to act like I wasn't sad allowed me to realize why I was so heartbroken, why my feelings were hurt, allowing me to clear my throat chakra, my root chakra. Like, it's not healthy to suppress how you feel. And it doesn't matter if you're 2 years old, 20 years old, 50 years old. It is okay to cry. And it doesn't matter your gender. Like, people make it seem like, oh, you're a crybaby, you're a crybaby. You came out the womb crying. People who have emotions, people who have feelings, people who have good energy, high vibrational energy, because that's what we're born with, cry. Like, it's normal. Now, of course, what may not be normal is constantly crying and not understanding why you feel the way you do. This is why it's so important to be vulnerable and to acknowledge how you feel. The third disclaimer is also being aware that because you're being vulnerable, because you're allowing yourself to feel, like, you may not be sure of yourself, you may have insecurities, you may have doubt, you may have fear. Like, I, in that moment, like I said, because I had a lot going on, would continue to move on with my life, not realizing that me not taking the time to be aware and process what happened to me end up having to come back to me later. Like, a lot of times when things happen to us traumatically, so many people try to sweep their problems underneath the rug. So many people try to act like nothing happened. So many people try to bounce back. Like, that's not normal. And what happens is when you try to sweep your problems underneath the rug, when you try to bounce back from certain situations, you end up still having to face them. You still end up having to clean underneath the rug. Like, over here, we don't sweep our problems underneath the rug because all it does is make the rug dirty. And then eventually you're going to have to lift the rug up, clean it, or burn it. So it's just like the third thing or the fourth thing, let me know what number I'm on because I lost count, is just stop suppressing how you feel. If you're angry, you're going to be angry. If you're mad, you're going to be mad. Like, you have to be able to self-reflect. Like, you cannot invalidate trauma. And until you learn to be honest, whether you're going to a therapist, you're going to a psychiatrist, you're booking your service in your session with me, your favorite mental health specialist, you are going to the gods, the ancestors, the universe, take what resonates, leave the rest, because I'm not here to force religion or spirituality. Like, until you are able to self-reflect and just allow yourself to go through the emotions, you're constantly, like I said, going to go through psychological warfare. You're constantly going to feel depressed. You're constantly going to feel angry. You're constantly going to feel anxious. You're constantly going to just have this illusion of these fears. So the fourth and fifth thing is that when change happens to you, when you go through traumatic situations, there's a lesson you're supposed to learn. Until you learn the lesson, you will constantly repeat the same cycles and feel stuck and stagnant and not be able to move forward on with your life. And in that lesson, you are meant to overcome your fears. You're meant to realize what was it that you were supposed to do in order for you to elevate or be the person that you're meant to be, and just everything else like that's going on in your life. So now, getting into the recommendations, the first thing you have to do in order for you to get to this point of moving on is realizing that your life has changed. Like, taking the actual time to sit with yourself. And of course, nobody's saying that you just have to cry every day. Nobody's saying that you just have to be on bed rest. But there are going to be moments where you grieve. And because grieving is not a one size fit all, some days you may feel happy. Some days you feel mad. Some days you may not feel anything. Like, when my dad died immediately, like initially, like literally a day or two afterwards, I was in school. I was just like, I have to go back to school. Because like I said, I was so numb and I didn't realize, like, here I am thinking like, oh, I'm superwoman, I'm fine. Like, no, like it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, grieving is not a one size fit all. So it's just like, it could take years, it could take months, it could take days. Like, you have to allow yourself to grieve. You have to allow yourself to grieve, and you don't have to rush your grieving. You don't have to compare yourself. Like, so many people, when I was going through this situation, and people, they're no longer in my life, were aware, try to make it seem like I was wrong because I was sad, or it took me some time to process. Like, unless you've gone through certain things in your life, nobody has the right to tell you when you're gonna let go of certain things, especially if they've never like gone through those things themselves. Like, unless you've lost a parent, unless you've like there was so many other things attached to it. Like, unless you like know how that feels, like, you don't have to rush your process of letting something go, especially if it changes your like finances, it changes your mindset, which is did which it did. So it's like, when my dad passed away, a part of me passed away, because it's like the connection that I had. Like, I had love for my dad had love for me. So like I said, like, you cannot like rush the process of your grieving. The second thing you have to realize is that some days are going to be better than others. If I'm being completely honest, like, some days, like I said, you're not going to feel anything. Some days you're going to feel great. Like, when you're feeling mad, you need to be angry. Like, being angry is a form of grief. So many people try to sit here and just act like they don't have problems, and they take it out on people. Like, I've seen in real time. I've seen people who have gone through trauma and they've never took the time to heal or go to therapy or pray or anything like that, and they project and deflect. I don't want to be like that. I've never wanted to be like that. I cannot stand when people do that. So this is another reason why I created this platform, and I speak up. Like, speak up. Like, if you are angry and you know you're angry, it's okay to be angry. Like, I had to realize that until I was able to let go of that anger, and I was able to understand why I felt angry, and I was able to come up with solutions and healthier ways to move forward, I was going to be angry. And once again, you could be angry and throw a tantrum until it no longer is in your spirit, until it no longer resonates with you. Like, I am a firm believer, and it's healthy, your therapist will tell you the same thing, to be mad. Because it's like, if you try to act like you're not mad, if you try to act like you don't care, if you try to act like something's not bothering you, it's only going to irritate you. Like, it's only going to frustrate you more. So it's just like, be mad, talk about why you're mad. And then when you're able to calm down, instead of taking your anger and frustration onto people, places, and things who did nothing to you, right? Because you end up blocking your blessings when you project and deflect onto people who did nothing to you. So instead of being angry with the world and blaming everybody else despite of what's going on, just acknowledge that you feel the way you do. So then now the fourth thing is just coming up with solutions. Like, okay, what can I do with this energy when I'm angry? What can I do with this energy when I feel sad? What can I do? Can I journal? Can I go to a therapist? Can I go see a psychiatrist? Do I need to watch Ty Guidance's videos? Like, do I need to go with a friend? Do I need to find some family? Like, do I need to confide in somebody? Like, do I need to go for a walk? Like, do I need to rest? Like, do I need to do something that is healthy and in alignment with who I am? Lastly, when it comes to the recommendations, which is the biggest take of this video, and I keep reiterating it, is just knowing that when your life changes, everything else around you has to change. So it's really important. I'm gonna keep saying it over and over and over again until it clicks. Steven, what's not clicking, Steven? You have to change. When it's time to change, things have to change. So if you don't change when the weather changes, you're gonna feel stuck. So instead of feeling stuck and feeling lost, allow yourself to go through the emotions. Allow yourself to go through the days and the weeks and the years until you're able to be comfortable with where you are. Because it's like, what took me a while to process and to completely like be able to let it go completely, which is detachment, which what everyone talks about when it comes to life and manifestation, is just being okay with what has happened to me. Because a lot of times we let our trauma break us. And as a mental health specialist, like I said, I created this video for these reasons and for you and myself. But it's just like, I personally refuse to be bitter and angry and frustrated and afraid, because I know from like losing a loved one, and my dad's not the only person in my life that's passed away. Like, nobody's gonna live forever. So it's like, it's really important to change when it's time to change. And the best way you learn how to change your life is to constantly be okay with detachment and letting things go. Like, if you are not taught and shown how to let things go, once again, I'm not rushing you, I'm just speaking from experience. And this is why I'm making these videos, because I genuinely care. Like, I care about myself, I care about my community, which means I care about everything that's in my energy, my environment. So it's just like learning to accept that change is gonna happen. People and places are not gonna be like permanent. Will allow you to grieve, will allow you to overcome any trials and tribulations, and will allow you to move forward, because there's gonna be a moment in your life where you're gonna want to let it go. This doesn't mean that the love that you had was not real, or that the love that you had was lost, or that you didn't, like I said, feel any type of way. Like, nobody's invalidating your experiences. But from somebody who's making this video 8 years later, I can say like where I was at the age of 20 versus where I am now, and who I was at the age of 20 versus where I am now. Like, I'm thankful. Like, obviously it made me learn to appreciate myself and the people that I love. And like I said, there was a lot of lessons that I learned in that moment specifically. And that's not the only thing that I've gone through, you guys. Like, I've gone through a lot of things. And of course, we're going to get into the can of worms when it's time to break that down. But because I make these videos about you guys and not myself, like, I feel like it's important that when you see people heal, or you see people successful, or you see people that you're inspired by, that they share that. And it's just like, I'm not saying that you have to come on YouTube and talk about every single thing that you go through, because I do believe there should be certain boundaries and balance. But I know a lot of people have lost certain things, whether it's their mind, like I said, family, friends, jobs, and they think life is never gonna like be better for them. And it's not true. It's just your life is not what it once was. And the moment you're able to just allow yourself to feel and validate yourself is when you start to become stronger and, like I said, educated and wiser. And like I said, everyone heals differently. Like, everyone heals at their own time. Everyone processes information differently. Now, of course, if you had the resources and the tools and the wisdom and the discernment, and you've never not go through anything, congratulations, pat yourself on the back. My videos are not for you. My videos are for people who go through things, right? But it's like, some things you do have to learn for yourself. And when you have to learn things for yourself, it takes time. Like, I'm not going to beat myself up for having to heal alone. Like, I've gone through a lot, you guys, by myself, and only having maybe like one people or person or two people, not a couple of people I can count on my hand, like being able to be vulnerable without judgment. Because a lot of times too, this is why it's so important to find community and people that you love when you're being vulnerable. If people haven't gone through things, or if people have gone through things and they don't want to talk about it, they'll deny your feelings, they'll suppress you, they'll try to make it seem, like I said, you're crazy or you're bitter. And it's like, no, people that are bitter are people who don't take the time to be vulnerable. Like, people trying to shame you or make fun of you or laugh you or mock you, like, they're literally the weirdest people on earth. So it's just like, when being vulnerable, I will say to be mindful. Like, if somebody doesn't have the emotional intelligence, or they're not being empathetic or sympathetic towards you, don't talk to them, because it's literally talking in one ear, not the other, or they're gonna judge you. Like, people who judge, I'm not gonna lie, that's a different topic within itself, but like, people who judge people for being vulnerable, ew, like, you're literally the worst person in the world. But yeah, like, there's gonna be a moment in your life, I'm gonna end off the video, keep it cute, there's gonna be a moment in your life where things are gonna get better. It just takes time and a lot of learning, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of accountability. And in the end, because you don't know when the end is, you just become better. Like, it's okay that you're sad, or that you're mad, or that you're angry. That's the whole purpose of this video. It's okay that you may not know how you're gonna feel right now, but over time, I can tell you, things do become easier. They do become lighter. It's just a certain level of responsibility. And it's like, once you learn the lesson, just like anything else in life, that's like if you fall, like the first time you learn how to ride a bike, if you've ever rode a bike before, you may have fell, or you may have been a little wobbly. It's not until you get back up again and you practice and you continue to do better that you become better. And I'm a firm believer that if it doesn't kill you, it does make you stronger. It's just a lot of people don't realize how strong they are. And being strong isn't always about being like physically strong, but like mentally strong. And being strong doesn't always mean that you have to do everything, or that you can't have time to yourself to rest, but knowing that you are capable of overcoming these things. You are capable of moving forward. Like, I was capable of losing a parent at the age that I was and being successful. Like, I'm still capable of living my life and moving forward. So that's all I'm gonna say, because this video is a little bit longer than what I intended to. But like always, thank you guys always for watching, and thank you guys for always liking. Thank you guys for always engaging and letting me know what you guys want to talk about. And I want you guys to follow me on all my social media platforms, because I'm about to go live on TikTok and on Instagram for the month of November. and talk about these topics if I didn't address them already, as well as booking your service in your session. My website is in the description down below if you're ready for like your one-on-one and maybe you just need more like intimacy and more privacy, as well as getting to know me as yourself. And just let me know what topics you guys want to go over and discuss if I haven't addressed them already, and just stay tuned for further videos. But like, yeah, you're gonna move on, we're gonna move on, life is gonna be great. And there's so many other things to look at in life. Like, it's not always gonna be dark and negative. Like, you're gonna have days, but like when you go through a significant amount of trauma, eventually you become equipped to handle certain things, so you know like what to avoid. And if you do have to experience circumstances, they don't make or break you, they just level you up, they just make you more than who you need to be. Okay, love you, bye.